I stumbled upon the world that is vampire TikTok. There are people who claim to be vampires, there are people who show us their vampire powers, and then apparently New Orleans is just infested with vampires. All of this contributes to a phenomenon I like to call, this is so absurd that I can't take my eyes off of it. Please call 911. I'm so serious, I can't move. And of course, the only logical next step after that was to show it to you guys. And if you're lucky, you will have that same experience.
Hi, Ginny the Vampire here. Everybody keeps asking me for proof that I'm a vampire. Well, I'm here to show you. I got proof.
And what is this proof? You are in for quite the treat. Because this video, along with many of the other videos here, are the only word I can think of for them, buffoonery. Just let me show you what I mean.
Ready? Imaginable strength.
Whoa! It's imaginable strength. I love imagining strength. I imagine it all the time. I don't know. I don't know why she said imaginable. I assume she meant unimaginable. But you know, I don't know. It could be vampire slang.
Imaginable strength. Into another ball.
This imaginable strength is unbelievable. There's no other explanation for what she's doing here other than she's a vampire. She also says it's into a ball, but it's very clearly not into a ball. She crushes it into a flat plane.
I'm back with more vampire strength. This box I'm about to pick up was more than 1,000 pounds. Nothing for Ginny the Vampire.
So at this point, I really can't tell if this is a joke or not. I really, really want to believe it is, but something just tells me it's not. She says that's a 1,000-pound box, but it is very clearly not 1,000 pounds. I don't even know what could be 1,000 pounds that could fit in that box. Except but that's not even the best part of this video. She's gonna continue to show us her powers, and they're great. Super convincing, super real. You're just gonna have to see them.
Now proof that I'm half human, I'm a hybrid. I'm standing in the sun. It does not bother me, it does not hurt me, it is my friend.
The sun is her friend. That's undeniable proof that she's a vampire. And if you deny it, you are a denier. And that's not just a river in the Egypt. But this next power she's gonna show us absolutely blows everything else out of the water. It's the ultimate pinnacle of power. Vampire speed. Did you see how fast she went? Obviously a vampire, definitely not sped up footage. Why would it be? No, seriously, why would it be? I mean, vampire TikTok and the clips are great and everything. I love them. But look, when I see clips like that, I just can't help but wonder what it would be like if I were to join a vampire cult.
Extra, read all about it. Vampire Club is now accepting new members.
Vampire Club? What's that?
Ask that guy.
Who's that?
You ask a lot of questions, don't you?
Why do you think that?
Hey, can you come talk to this guy? He wants info.
Yeah, it's a cool piece of paper.
Shalom. Did you know there are vampires in Ohio? This is 28-year-old Norse pagan Helly Schweizer.
Yeah, that's a vampire. I mean, there's no question about it. That is absolutely a vampire. Do you see how she's dressed? Here's what I'll say though. If there's a vampire in Ohio, I feel like people would know. Don't only like 7 people live in Ohio? If one of them was a vampire, people would surely know. Ohioians? I don't even know if that's how you say it. People from Ohio, I'm just kidding.
Somebody really tried to make me feel like I wasn't who I was. You know what I mean?
I actually forgot about this video until just now, but this lady here is great. She's presumably queen of the vampires.
They really thought, they're like, who are you? Like, what have you done that is so great? And I'm over here like, how? All you gotta do is this. Number one.
So this is what I love about this video. What I absolutely adore, I cherish about it, is that somebody asked her the question, what have you done that is so great? And her response is that she's the #1 person you see when you look up vampire on TikTok. That is quite possibly one of the world's greatest accomplishments, on par with the discovery of fire and the creation of the wheel, in no particular order either. I mean, they're all great feats in their own. But this made me curious. I was like, what if I look up vampire now? Is she gonna be the first one who shows up? Well, I'm gonna tell you. She was taken over by this lady. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put a picture on screen, but she was taken over by this lady. This lady brags a little bit more about being #1 on vampire TikTok, so it makes it all the better.
Always and forever.
Always and forever. She's gonna be #1. So what do we do as vampires? Oh, cool, I like to eat. Oh, yeah, no, I don't like to eat humans. Oh, okay, well, that's not nice. Thanks. Do I really have to do this?
Yo ho, all hands hoist the colors high.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how any of that's necessarily proof of vampires. I mean, the grave, I mean, how do you know that's a vampire grave? And actually, just because someone made a grave for a vampire doesn't mean a vampire inhabited the grave. Also, the bones, I'm not really sure about. I don't know how that necessarily means vampires. Like, how do you know they're vampire bones? I look at those bones and I don't see anything necessarily vampirical about them.
Thieves and beggars.
Ah, yes, a vampire. We know this because he has a rock in his mouth, as all gray vampires do. Write that one down. If you're taking notes, write that down. So here are some great fun facts about vampires. The first one references what I was talking about earlier. Vampires do exist, and they are found in New Orleans. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on in New Orleans. You guys need to figure it out though, but apparently vampires are all the rage. Even if they bite you 100 times, you will not turn into a vampire. How do you know this? Have you tested it? Have you been bit 100 times? Sounds like you're making stuff up to me. Vampires are actually kind. How can you make a generalization like that? I'm sure there is a not kind vampire somewhere. I'm sure there's a very mean vampire. Other vampires have their own YouTube channels. Maybe you already know them. Maybe you do. Maybe you're watching someone who may potentially be a vampire and you don't even know it. Who knows? Spooky stuff.
I may be unpleasant looking on the outside, but you're ugly on the inside.
Something that should have been added to the fun fact list of vampires is that they're savages. Absolutely ruthless. I don't know who he was talking to. I don't even know if they deserve it. But that is a crazy burn. I don't know how you even recover from that. Also, he looks like Dobby from Harry Potter. I just said a vampire looks like Dobby. Is that like a stereotype? Or is that, am I gonna get banned for saying that? Hello, I'm with the Vampire Club Incorporated. We're just selling... Look, I know I'm new here, but I feel like selling human blood to humans probably isn't the best idea. I know, it just seems like a bad first mission. I have a better idea for a first mission.
The strength ability. You're 125 pounds and you can bench press how much?
On a Smith climb machine, I've been able to do 270, maximum 280. And with that right there, approximately 425.
So I've got 425 pounds over there.
Okay.
Oh, and I want to see you. It's, what is it called? Bench pressing with the legs? I don't know if that's
called a leg press, like 45-degree angle.
Bench press with your legs. That's what I'm calling it.
His vampire's not having it at all. She was like, haha, bench press with your legs. And he was like, leg press. Totally a vampire. Totally giving me vampire vibes.
One.
So that's great. A very muscular vampire, or at least strong, maybe not muscular, he's strong. But that's what I find so interesting about vampire TikTok is there's just so many different things, so many different explanations. When you ask one person what a vampire is, they say one thing. You ask another person, they say another. Nobody can give you a clear answer on what a vampire is. Everybody has their own definition. Pretty much a vampire is whatever you want it to be, I guess. There's a vampire in all of us. We're all a little bit vampirical. Yeah, wow, her boyfriend's an actual literal vampire. The way that you know they're both vampires actually is because of the filter. That's how you can tell if a vampire's real or not, is because of the filter. Filter that makes him look like a vampire. That's how you know.
Yo, these guys are losers. Look at these guys. What the f***?
Here we go again with the vampire powers. Super running speed, and I guess super hearing too. They have everything. And you know what they do when you insult them is they just run to you and stare at you. That's how they get you. They don't even attack you. They just look at you, they stare at you, just make you feel really uncomfortable. Also, something else common about vampires I've noticed, especially on vampire TikTok, is that they all have like light colored eyes. Does that come from Twilight? I mean, I don't think the second guy does. His hat is sideways though, and that's pretty suspicious. Does he have a toothpick in his mouth? Okay, he's definitely a vampire. Okay, so we just wait here until the blood attracts the werewolf, and then we drop a bucket of water on him. Come on, don't be like that. It's gonna be so funny. Whatever you say. Look, here he comes. Haha, that was so good. What do you mean he's right there?
Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear, no, I can't help but to hear in exchanging words.
Yeah, first off, these pictures look actually kind of spooky, very spooky. Second, they look spooky because you can 100% tell that they're fake. So this is another thing with vampire TikTok. I cannot tell if they want me to truly believe they're vampires or if they're just goofy. It just seems really strange. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be feeling. Like, there's no way somebody can't look at this and think it's real. It just seems very obvious that it's not real.
Have your whole family do it? Okay. And even he can do it. Actually, too soon.
Too soon? What does that even mean? Too soon to show us your vampire dog? What does that even, what if you do it too soon? Is the world gonna explode? Is there gonna be a giant global tornado? What does that even mean? Too soon? It's a dog that's supposedly a vampire. Am I missing something here? His whole family's vampires too. This guy, Nick Suarez, I think his name is. His whole thing is that he's a vampire. And his brother, his family's vampires, brothers, everyone's a vampire. But I cannot tell, does he really want us to think he's a vampire?
The fangs are retractable? I see this comment so many times and I've already made a video on it, but there's nothing in my mouth. And I even got my brother here to prove it. I even got my brother here to prove it.
I'm sorry.
Whoa! Did you see how fast he was moving? That's crazy. Obviously, he didn't speed up the video or anything, which I mean, it's kind of smart what he did actually. He made it seem like he was waiting for his brother to show up so that his brother could actually run in at normal speed, and then they speed up the video. That's one explanation, or the other explanation is that his brother's actually extremely fast. I feel like it could go 50-50 either way. You just never know. I thought it was a funny prank. Well, don't say that. No, he said that, not me. I actually barely know him. Dude, I just can't get behind that. That's not what I said. So you're on his side now? Are you serious? Are you even a vampire? Fine, let's do it.
Hello, Sam the Vampire here. Here are some questions that you're always asking me. Yes, vampires are real. No, we're not afraid of the sun. No, a stake through the heart will not kill us.
A few things here. First off, I think a stake through the heart will kill anything. Any living being, I feel like a stake through the heart will kill. I just have a feeling that that's the case. Unless vampires are invincible, which in that case, you know, I guess. And the first question they ask is, are vampires real? Which, if you're on a vampires TikTok asking if vampires are real, you're the problem. I don't even know what that means, but I just felt like saying it. This lady here, I think, is trying to actually convince us that she's a real vampire. Maybe she is. Maybe she's a real vampire. I don't know.
The only thing that can hurt a vampire is another vampire.
Okay, hold on. Let me just throw this thought out here. What if a vampire falls in love with a human and the human breaks the vampire's heart? I'm sure that will hurt a lot. Check and mate. I've just destroyed your vampirical logic.
No, we cannot carry biological children. Yes, we are immortal.
Well, that sucks. They just have to fly them in on storks, I guess. If vampires are, one, immortal, invincible, and the only thing that can hurt vampires are other vampires, wouldn't there be like an excess of vampires? Wouldn't that kind of be like a disproportionate amount of the population? Unless the vampire growth rate is just extremely slow, which I don't know why they would want it to be so slow. It just seems like that wouldn't be great for the vampirical economy. I mean, slow growth, very low GDP per capita, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of that is. Seems kind of lame.
The only way you would ever be able to tell that there's a vampire is if you were a vampire and could smell them.
Imagine the only way people could identify you is by your smell. I mean, I know a few people I can only identify by smell, so I guess that's fair. The crazy thing about this video is, which I cut it, but this video is a whole minute of just this one shot. That's crazy. But also, here it is again with the vampires in New Orleans. I don't know what's going on there. You guys need to figure that out. Vampires are just taking over. It's getting a little crazy. Maybe I'll make another video on the whole New Orleans vampire thing someday. It's not what I'm focusing on today. Seems like it's getting a little crazy over there. I can't believe you agreed to this. Shh, she's coming. Hello, Miss Werewolf King's mom. We're here to give you a spa day for your birthday. Well, actually, he's busy today, so... No, I mean, he wanted to be here. Dude, why would you say that? No, he really wanted to be here. You don't need to talk to him. Dude, we are in so much trouble. I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Let me explain something about fangs. This is the part of the video where everybody becomes a vampire expert, but those same people don't believe in vampires. Y'all humans are weird. Fangs are like, your saliva.
Okay, so maybe I'm being a little too analytical here, but bear with me. But when he's trying to give an example of like what vampire teeth are like, he's like, vampire teeth are like, saliva. And he has to think about it. So that begs the question, was he just recording this completely off the dome? If he didn't think of an analogy, was he just gonna stand there being like, my vampire teeth are like your... They're like your... Was that what he was gonna do? No, probably not. You know why? Because it was rehearsed and he was trying to make it seem like it wasn't. Case closed, the detective has solved it. That was really weird. I don't know why I called myself the detective.
It's like lifting something that is too heavy for y'all to lift. What's gonna happen? You guys will pull a muscle. You know, you'll get a hernia. Same thing with fangs. Like right now, my gums hurt. And these are kind of pushing out a little too much. My teeth aren't supposed to pop out like that. That's too far. That's too far.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but that looks normal to me. I mean, nothing looks out of place with his teeth. Also, did you just compare pushing your fangs out to lifting too heavy of a weight? I guess the sore part of it, I don't know. But again, this is what I mean. Like, is he trying to convince us? Because he goes into this whole explanation and he like tries to talk about the, you know, details of it, I guess. Are we just supposed to believe it? Or is he seriously trying to convince us? Because it's like, why? What are you doing? That's something I've noticed with a lot of TikTok, or I guess a lot of internet in general, is that people just try to convince you of things and people believe them. So maybe that's why they do it, because people believe them. And maybe it's like like rage bait type stuff. I don't know. But I don't know if I fully get it.
Who did this to you? Don't tell me not to worry about it. Who did this? I'm not gonna overreact.
I feel like you're already kind of getting a little reactionary. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But also, you know how you know she's a vampire? Because of her eyes. Look at her eyes. It's the dead giveaway. But that's the thing too. I mean, like if vampires were just running around with these eyes, I feel like people would notice. I feel like that would just become like a thing people would see. Like I was walking down the street and I saw someone with those eyes and I'm like, oh, they have the super light glowing brown eyes. And then I drive a stake through their heart and then they don't die because vampires are invincible and immortal. And then I get bit. And also because only vampires can hurt vampires. And then I get bit. And then it's a whole situation because I sue. A lot of litigation. Comes a class action lawsuit. It just gets crazy.
Tell me.
Am I supposed to be speaking here?
Let me protect you.
An evil goblin did this. There wasn't, what? She doesn't even give me a response? And now that's goofy. Why would she have us act this out if she's not even gonna respond? That's tomfoolery at its finest. Yeah, so this whole vampire TikTok thing is just super confusing to me. I don't get it. Like, I don't think this last girl was trying to actually convince us. I think it was just role play, which is great. That's a whole nother thing. But there's so many videos that are just like, you cannot tell. And I don't know why people do it. I guess it's for fun. They've been arguing for the last 3 hours. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Vampire Club's for me. Okay, well, don't be dramatic. You guys are doing great. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go. Okay, you definitely shouldn't say that.